Welcome everybody to the Feeding Frenzy Friday. My name is Brian. This is where we break down the Friday featured asset from Notes Direct. If you're someone looking to buy notes and you want an expert opinion, this is the place to be. We have Scott Tyler, a veteran of almost 30 years in the note business, giving us his thoughts on these notes. If this is a value to you, we would love for you to just smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, click that bell notification so that you get a notification every single time we post one of these videos ahead of the emails. Let's go. All right, so what do you got for us today, Scott?
Brian, I have a single family residence in Bloomsdale, Missouri. If you don't know where Bloomsdale is, about an hour south of St. Louis. So with 4.2, nice big property. What I really like about it, Brian, is it sits on 6 acres of land. So yeah, big piece of land and big piece of property, really.
That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about how long has the borrower been there? I mean, we always talk about incentive, right? How long have they lived there? How expensive is rent in the area? What's their incentive to pay here?
Yeah, and I need to point out, Brian, this is a non-performing loan, right? So last payment on this loan was July 2019. So they've been in the property since 2009. The incentive, like you said a minute ago, they've been there for quite a while, established. Not only that, they've got quite a bit of equity in the property.
Yeah, and that's going to be a pretty interesting variable for a non-performing loan, right? There's only 3 options you have when you really look at a non-performing loan. You can either modify the loan and get them repaying again. You could do a deed in lieu of foreclosure, kind of a cash for keys scenario, or you could head towards foreclosure. What's interesting about this is I see that the foreclosure date is already set. So that ball is already rolling. So before we kind of get into too many details there, we really want to talk about really what those options are. And then we're going to talk about, from as an investor, what's our risk and all that kind of stuff. And so if it's a modification, where do we start, Scott? What do we do next?
Yeah, Brian, excuse me. If you, as an investor, you purchase this loan, your due diligence is you want to get a hold of the borrower, right? You want to get him on the phone. You want to find out what his hardship is, see if you can work out something where you get him paying again. If you get him paying again, that's great. You got a performing loan on a property that's got a lot of equity in it, right? Secondly, if you can't, and you may have to modify it, you may have to extend term, to lower the payment, whatever, if you can get that. If that's not an option, then yeah, foreclosure ball is rolling. I'm sure this guy has got some information in the mail already. Like you said, that foreclosure sale date has been set. So hopefully that would spur him on to contact the lien holder and, hey, let's work something out. Like I said, worst case, the foreclosure date is set. It goes to foreclosure, and I'll let you talk about it. It can be bought at the courthouse steps.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something you definitely got to consider as well, is if these things goes to foreclosure, then it could be sold at the courthouse steps. And when you have an asset that has this much equity in it, your total legal balance is $101,000. That's what you're owed if you buy this note for, I'm going to call that $80,000, right? But what the chances are is that when it goes to auction, it's probably going to sell for over 101, which means you buy a note today for $79,000, $80,000. And then it goes to auction and you get paid off, right? Because it's probably going to sell for over 101, knowing it has that much equity in it. And so this could be a scenario to where it's a pretty quick turnaround. And then obviously you can't ignore the fact that, well, what could happen is, you end up with it and you pursue that process yourself and you end up with the property, of course. And so it's the same 3 things over and over again, right, Scott? It's just modification, it's a deed in lieu, or it's a foreclosure if you can't get them on the phone and work something out. So it's a great opportunity to kind of dip your toe into non-performing loans if that's your thing. And the last thing I really want to talk about is going to be the risk side. As an investor, what's my risk profile here, right? The loan to value and investment to value, what does that look like for me, and that kind of stuff. So Scott, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, exactly, Brian. You look at the guy owes, legal balance of 101, but his principal balance is 90,000. Property's worth 240. We talked about his equity position a minute ago, right? He's at 44% loan to value. He's got a lot a lot of equity in here. And then from an investor standpoint, if his loan to value is at 44%, you're going to be less than that, obviously. And at 80,000, we're calling it 80,000, you're below 35% as an investment to value on this. So yeah, those are great numbers from an investor standpoint.
I love it. And so I'll tell everybody this: if this is something that's for you, you're liking this, continue your journey of due diligence. Make sure you're confident before you click that buy button. And here's the other thing: if you go to click the buy button, you've done your homework, you're set now, you want to get moving, you go, and somehow when you get back to that page, someone's already clicked the buy button in front of you. Don't worry. It'll say contingent offer. You can click that and actually be a backup offer. You never know when someone's funding might fall through, or their business partner gets hit by a bus. There's too many things to consider. And it happened to me back in February, where I was a contingent offer and I got an email saying, hey, you're next in line. Are you still interested? Right. So if you go out, you do your due diligence, this is something that you want to invest in, don't be afraid to get in line if for some odd reason you showed up late to the party, and get yourself a great non-performing loan that will help continue to build your wealth.
Well, thank you so much, Scott, for taking some time to walk through that with us. If this asset is for you, make sure you do your due diligence and then go and click that purchase button. Go out and make it happen. Take action. If you want to see more notes, make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Make sure you click that bell notification to get the latest updates so that as soon as we post these videos, you're getting the information ahead of the emails. If you're new to Notes or you want to learn more about Notes, you should register for our one-day deeper dive class through our sister company, Note School. It is a one-day deeper dive class to cover everything from creative financing, creating your own notes, learning how to wholesale and flip notes, things like performing notes and selling partials, what it looks like to make some big money with some bad debts through non-performing notes. It's a wonderful full-day class. You could register for that class below. For the rest of you, I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next week on the Feeding Frenzy Friday.